I assume you want to talk about Metroid Dread.
I do.
Yeah, why don't you do that first so we can...
I'll try and be quick with it. So I love Metroid. I loved Fusion and Zero Mission, and I loved Metroid Prime. I never finished the trilogy of Metroid Prime, but I did beat Metroid Prime 1 and played most of 2 and most of 3. Maybe I didn't touch 3.
I don't think you played 3. It was on the Wii, wasn't it?
I didn't play. Okay, so I didn't touch 3.
It was a Wii game, innit?
It was a Wii game in it. Love Metroid. Steve got me the 3DS remake of Samus Returns. I'm a big fan. I will probably say this is my favorite Metroid game I've ever played. And
So it's good.
it's very good. I've seen a lot of people saying it's too hard. I've seen a lot of people saying it's frustrating.
Yeah, get good.
It is hard and it is
GG.
frustrating. I, right before we came here, probably died, I don't know, 15 to 20 times on a single boss just trying to get past him.
What makes it hard?
So-
What are people saying?
I mean, it's a Metroid game, so that's what I feel like is what I disagree about in terms of what people are saying in terms of how it's too hard. I mean, Fusion, the first time I played it, that game was hard. Metroid Zero Mission, the first time I played that, it was hard. The original Metroid game, I've never beaten because it's hard. Samus Returns for the 3DS, also super hard. They added additional mechanics into that game to make it, play a little better on a newer console. And a lot of those mechanics moved over to Metroid Dread, but it's hard. Fusion, I still feel like is one of my favorite games. Me and Steve, before we knew what speedrunning was, used to go over to our friend's house and
That's right.
speedrun that game. Like, we would just sit down and see who could beat it the fastest, and we got pretty quick at it. I don't think we'd break any world records or anything, but
No, but we were around like 2 hours like back
Yeah.
then for
and so
being
once
a
you
child.
once you figure out the game, dude, like it's really just like, okay, go here, get this one power up. Now you got to figure out where you need to go, and you can get to new places with that power up. And then you run into a boss, and the boss is hard, and you die like 30 times there. The Emmys, EMMI, they are
Yeah.
these like robots that are inside of this Emmy zone that they're supposed to be guarding. And when you're in there, like, there's no you have to just run away from them if they see you.
So
Except
you can't fight them.
no, you have at least I believe a 1% chance if they catch you to break free using a melee. So
So it's all about just getting away. It's not about fighting them.
well, so once you get
That's
to a certain
surprising.
point inside of the Emmy zone, so a lot of the times what happens is you'll run into one, you'll run out another door, and then you'll run through this other portion, and you'll go back into the Emmy zone through another portion of another door that allows you to move further within the zone. Eventually, you get to a central control unit where you kill that thing, and then you get the Omega Cannon, which has basically one use to kill the Emmy.
Okay.
So I've killed a handful of them. I think there's 7 in the game. I think I've killed 4. But yeah, I mean, it's right now where I'm at in the story, they're offline.
Okay.
But they're fucking terrifying. Like, being in that room, I guess I want to say this about the game. The sound design for that game is awesome. They do a really good job at using music and sound to scare the shit out of you. I dropped down into this one room, and then this door behind me, something just started banging on it like crazy. Like,
Yeah.
scared the crap out of me. And
Beals.
Refuel.
and yeah, I mean, they just do a really good job of making you feel like you shouldn't be here. Like, the whole game feels like, and I have footage of it. I should have brought my Switch, and I'll send it to you before next week.
Fuck, dude. kidding.
But the thing that's fucking hilarious to me, and I feel like they knew what they were doing, was that the whole game feels so tense and stressful, and like you're gonna fucking die at any turn. And when you're on the train between maps, or you're on an elevator between maps, it's just like a screen of Samus just like chilling, and that's the only time in the whole game I feel like I'm safe.
Oh, really?
It's so weird. Like
Dude,
Until
it's
they
so
dead space you and attack you in the elevator.
yeah, no. So like it's
Yeah.
just her standing in the elevator with like the lights going over her face, and she's just kind of like while it loads the next area. And that's the only time since I've started the game where I wasn't like on edge. They do a really good job of making you seem small and like the scale of the game. Like some of the bosses I've had to fight are massive. And then like when you come into an area where the train is, it really zooms you out and like you just see Samus like a little tiny
Little speck.
sprite of her next to this massive train. There's one area where you run through and it's this big hallway through like this lava chamber and it zooms out. They do a really good job with the camera. Zooms out and you're just like running across and there's all this lava like flying around behind you.
Sounds like some near shit.
I mean, they really did a good job with the camera, the audio, the cutscenes are fucking awesome. Like, I feel like hands down, this is the best Metroid game I've ever seen, and probably will feel that way for a long time.
Until the next one.
16 years from now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Yeah, right.
you know, they've added some features like that dash mechanic. I don't remember being in any other game. They took the same thing from Metroid Samus Returns for the 3DS, where you can do a full 360 with your arm to shoot at people. The older ones, it was like you just had
It's like 8 directions.
eight directions.
Borderline not even because you don't go down. So
Yeah, and you know, I just feel like
unless you're in the air, I take it back.
it's 100% recommended on my part. Like, if you like Metroid, or you like, I mean, I would even say, if you like that puzzle solving aspect of like older Zelda games, right? Like, figure out what to do here to go back over here. I mean, I know that's not really considered a Metroidvania.
No, but I think that's where they were originally. I don't know that Metroid was 100% like inspired in that way, but I want to say that was part of it. And Castlevania for sure. They said that was more of when they started making them like that. That was more of a Zelda inspiration. Than,
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like they're just a different take on
yeah.
that solve this
Side-scrolling.
the whole world is a giant puzzle type game.
The world is a vampire.
It's a huge map too. Like, I feel like I've been all over the place. It's massive. Like, so far I think I've discovered like 6 different areas, and I've not been to 100% of any of them. I think that where I'm at in the game, I only have 17% of items, and that counts for upgrades and like
Health tanks and
health
stuff.
tanks and missile tanks. And you know, 17%. I feel like I was dying on that last boss I fought so many times because I haven't found enough energy packs, like, to just make my health higher.
Yeah.
Just don't get hit.
It's hard. I'm not gonna lie. I looked up 2 things so far. I won't lie to you about that. And I
lie
was
to me.
just confirming that the thing that frustrates me about that game, and it's frustrated me with every Metroid game, is that they don't really tell you where to go, right? So
I feel you, bro.
yeah, you'll get something. Let's just say you get the morph ball, and you have the morph ball now. You get out of the area where you got it, and it's just like, okay, now figure out remember where you haven't been.
Well,
To use
Well,
the
that's
to
what I
use the
was
morph ball.
gonna say.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like, oh, there definitely was a door that I couldn't
Yeah.
get in, but it is you have to remember. It's never you just saw that you go over here and get it. It's like
I will say I appreciate that a lot about the new map system, is that it will show you every single type of door and what it is, and you can highlight them. So if you just got a weapon that allows you to open a new door, you can click on that door, and it'll show you everywhere that has that same
That's
door
cool.
type. So you can at least see, like, oh, okay, I haven't been over here. I can go over there, and you can set markers that
Yeah.
show up on your mini map, so you can try and figure out how to get down there.
some of the other ones too would show like the out of bounds secret passages you would have to find in like Morph Ball, or if you blow up a wall or something.
Yeah.
They would show that was clearly like an out of bounds area, so you know.
Yeah, and there's so many of those still. Like,
Yeah.
when I download the map, I know there's way more places I can't
Yeah.
see. But I mean, I've only played it for, I don't know, maybe 10 hours.
I mean, it's probably, I've heard it's only like 20-hour
Yeah.
game, so.
It just seems like must be missing a shit ton of pieces. I mean,
Yeah,
I've
I'm
already
sure.
killed half of the Emmys, and I know I've beaten like 2 mini bosses and 3 or 4 actual bosses. So
Jesus Christ.
I'm still missing a bunch of power ups. I know
You have 69 missiles right now, though.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice.
it is nice.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll just say that like I understand why people are saying it's a hard game, but I also feel like that's every Metroid game.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played this yet, but I feel like the combination of it being hard to figure out where you want to go can be annoying for people, I guess, but that is what they're based on. That's the whole idea. And two, I have heard some of the like combat encounters and stuff are annoying. I mean, or difficult if you're not, like real good at it, but I don't know. I think that's every game as well, but this doesn't have like difficulty options, right?
No. Which, I mean, I feel like if you're stuck, just look it up. It's not going to hurt
Yeah.
anything. There was one room, I got through an elevator, and I got to this room, and I go out the elevator room, and I go into the next room, and there's nothing I can do. And there's nowhere else for me to go. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I just unlocked this elevator. Why would there not be something for me to do in here? So I go all the way down the elevator again. I go back to where I was. I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'm supposed to be in that room. So I go back up the elevator, go into that room again, and I'm like, yeah, I definitely can't do anything here. So I start shooting everything. And I go back to the elevator room, and I start shooting everything, and I shot the wall to my left where there was no door, and it just breaks open.
Dude, that's like some Zelda shit that I'm
Yeah.
like, how was I?
Well, I mean,
like-
that's the way it's been since the first Metroid. It's like blow this one single block up with your bomb or a missile.
Yeah, I stayed just using landmines everywhere because
Yeah.
you have no idea
in
what
case.
it is.
The landmines and the rockets will at least show you what type of power you're supposed to use to break that block. So if you just walk around like laying mines or shooting rockets all over the place, I only have 69, so I try and you do that sparingly. But I mean, I just
How
started
many?
69. Nice. No, actually, yeah. So, I got through that part, and then I got stuck like maybe 10 minutes later. So I was like, fuck this. And I looked up what I was supposed to do, and then I just closed it because I was like, I don't want to spoil the rest of the game. And how
Yeah,
to beat it
that's
for me.
you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So I've been trying to do that as little as possible. I've done it twice. I almost looked up how to beat the last boss I was just stuck on. Drogaiga. I don't know how to say it. Drogygya. It's the underwater boss,
Dragaiga.
and you move slow as shit underwater. So I was getting really frustrated. But I did end up beating him,
That's what it's all
so
about.
I just, I'll say that while I agree with people saying it's hard, it is hard. I don't want to say that it's too hard. And I think that if you've played any Metroid game in the past, you'll know what I'm talking about, where it is, once you understand and know what you're supposed to do, it's not that bad. I mean, I feel like once you've memorized this game, you can beat it in 2 hours.
I think the speed runs are already like 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Wow.
yeah, I think it's
love
like
it, dude.
34% item completion to beat the game.
Yeah, I really just feel like you said, once you know where to go, that's like half of the
Yeah.
difficulty of the game, and you don't know what you're doing ever. So I don't know.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. It's
Yeah.
nice to have a game that you want come out. You know?
Any percent in 1 hour and 55 minutes.